Hey everybody, we're Sarah and Andrew Miles, the owners of Miles Film Co., and we are finally doing our first ever wedding film breakdown.
During these wedding film breakdowns, we are going to be discussing the why behind our films, why we chose particular shots, why we edited them a certain way, why we chose particular music, and so on. Today's wedding film breakdown, we are going to be discussing Sofia and Ryan's wedding film, which has been an extremely popular film of ours due just to so many people connecting with their story and just the vibe of the wedding film in general. So Sofia and Ryan's wedding day primarily happened at her childhood home, which is a big part of what made the wedding so special to begin with. And their ceremony took place at St. Thomas of Villanova Church, which was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it was incredible.
A big part of their day was just getting to, celebrate their love with the people that they love at her childhood home. And so it just felt right for the opening shot to be a shot of her father's house.
Yeah.
Sofia, you're beautiful, smart, and funny. And this event is an incredible reflection of you.
One thing you're going to notice as you go through the film is that dreams have a reoccurring theme throughout this film, and I did that intentionally because Sofia just had such a beautiful dream and vision for her wedding day, and it really did just come true through the day itself, and so we wanted to see that reflected in the film. So we started the wedding film off with a song literally called Dreamer. We include a part of Ryan's speech where he talks about the wedding day just being a perfect reflection of Sofia, and we really wanted that to be also reflected in her wedding film. I also wanted to talk about the iconic window shot of Sofia with the champagne glass. Yes. I think it's iconic. I love it. It's just so unique. A big part of wedding filmmaking is being able to film with the eye of a director and a cinematographer without interrupting, without making a production out of it, because you definitely don't want to make a production out of the wedding day, and you don't want to take away, a couple from that experience, from experiencing their day. And so Sofia's wedding day was really fast-paced. I was constantly switching between a 70 to 180 tight lens on a monopod and a handheld camera with a 50 millimeter, because Andrew was actually with the guys with the 24 to 70 lens and the gimbal. So I was constantly switching between the two lenses in order to capture what I could, because it was so fast-paced and I didn't want to, slow down anything or take away from the experience. Sofia's photographer did an incredible job at capturing Sofia in her element and her love for fashion. And so the window shot was literally me in the background with my 70 to 180 really getting in tight on Sofia, while the photographer and her second shooter were getting their shot as well. Mm-hmm. And it just turned out to be so dreamy. We're going to overuse the word dreamy talking about their wedding film, because that's just what it was.
Yeah, well, there's just certain shots that just have so much feel to them, and I think that was one of those shots.
This is really where we fell in love with the combination of handheld footage and more stabilized footage. The shots of Sofia and her bridesmaids in the bathtub and outside of the house, those were all handheld because I had to be handheld in that moment, and I had to have a wider lens to kind of capture everything that was happening. But I feel like that handheld footage added a lot of seasoning and flavoring to the film that wouldn't have otherwise been there with gimbal footage.
Yeah.
Then it was whenever she went on to work and live her dream life at Tory Burch and Dior in New York City. When we were growing up, Soph was queen of the list. I mean, she's still queen of the list. But when I say queen, I mean that from the moment where Sofia knew how to write, when she woke up every day, she had a to-do list for the day.
All right, so here we have Sofia's amazing sisters, starting out with the story of really who Sofia is. And so that's why we included that in the beginning, was to establish that. Mm-hmm. We chose a more upbeat song because we wanted to pair something that really emphasized the fun that they were having that morning. And that's where some of the handheld footage came into and kind of just like really made the wedding film feel upbeat.
Mm-hmm. And now Ryan's known as Mr. In Love because he's truly found the love of his life. Sofia, you look amazing today. I couldn't have asked for a better life partner for my brother. I'm so happy to see the prince marry his princess.
Ryan and his guys were also having a lot of fun that morning too, and he really just is Mr. In Love. So we thought that was a really cute statement.
Billy's look so handsome.
You look amazing.
Both Sofia and Ryan's families
They're
are
blessed.
amazing, and they are so much fun, and that really just shows too as well in this first look with his mom.
Yeah, and I also think up until this point, hearing now both Sofia's sisters and his brother, you can kind of really start to see like the beginning setting up the atmosphere for the entire film, and then going into each character, and doing that kind of really allows you to like invest into their story, and now as we go throughout the film you kind of like are more interested in how it's going to unfold. So I think that that's just a really cool aspect of this film.
So there's been a lot of talk about how you two finally came back together, which was during the pandemic. So thank you, COVID, or we wouldn't all be here. But it was so fun to get to watch you fall in love.
Spectacular, so great.
Thank you.
You're taller than me.
I think we're the same height. You look amazing. I love the bow tie.
Which is why we've now brought in the sisters discussing Sofia and Ryan together, and not just as individuals, but now it's bringing them in together. And so as we kind of build up that suspense to the actual ceremony.
We were there for the very first date, and Sofia, when I tell you she was excited, it was an understatement. It was absolutely insane watching Sofia get ready. And well, I'm not gonna lie, we've all seen how special Sofia and Ryan's love is now, but even before the first date, there was something different. So I'll admit I couldn't help snapping a creeper photo as Sofia walked down the driveway to meet Ryan, because there was something there.
With our wedding films, we really like to pair what's being said with relevant imagery from the wedding itself to create some symbolism. Like here we have Sofia's sister talking about Sofia walking back down the driveway from her date with Ryan, and now we're having her about to make this grand entrance and walk down the aisle to her ceremony to Ryan.
Yeah. Almost every single film has some kind of way to like tie imagery, words being said, all that into the couple. Also Ryan's iconic clap that he does right there.
The first and only groom that we've ever had clap as he sees his bride for the first time at the end of the aisle.
Showing all the rest of us up.
I asked Ryan and Sofia, without showing or telling each other, to send me 3 things that they love about the other. Sofia's 3 things she loves about Ryan.
All right, so let's talk about this ceremony. The ceremony was absolutely beautiful. We had to include what the pastor had to say about the 3 things that Sofia and Ryan shared with him that they loved about each other.
I love Ryan's amazing heart. He thinks the best of everyone he meets. I trust him with everything. Ryan makes everything easier. Number 2, I love how grounded Ryan is. For even the sales associate while wedding shopping shared, "You seem like a very solid man." And 3rd, I love how Ryan is a true man. Doing all the little things that you never want to ask of your partner, whether making sure I get to and from work safely, surprising me with flowers, sometimes even 2 days in a row.
First of all, the statement of him surprising her with flowers sometimes 2 days in a row, that has stuck with me.
Once again, showing me up again.
That has stuck with me because that's just such a powerful, really representation of what we should strive for in our relationships. Even in your relationships outside of marriage, really. I mean, it's about...
Just going above and beyond to care for somebody else and show them that love is pretty incredible. I love watching both of them during this entire ceremony because, like, even just in this part, their reactions feel so genuine towards one another. Seeing their families' reactions, like they're all clearly so excited behind them.
I love Sofia's smile and laugh. Even in the toughest of moments, she smiles and it changes everything for the better. And 3, I love how Sofia picks me up when I am down and gives me strength when I feel weak.
I feel like we have to talk about the drone.
This drone shot was an adrenaline rush for me because I did not know if we were going to be able to make it happen, because you never know how quickly they're going to come out of the church. And so right after the ceremony, we had to leave all of our stuff in there. Andrew immediately ran out with his gimbal to capture them actually coming down the steps with his actual camera. And I ran out there immediately with the drone, was getting it set up and sent it up in the air. And I'm like, all right, I don't know when they're gonna come out, but I've got it in the air. I've got it angled the way I wanted to have it angled, and it ended up going super well. So I was super excited about that. Andrew didn't think I got it. I walked up to Andrew and was like, oh, you actually got the drone shot? And I was like, yeah, I did. So now we're going into the details of cocktail hour. They flew in a chef from Italy to cater this reception.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. There was different colors everywhere of different types of food everywhere. Absolutely stunning.
We lived somehow like a 1950s evening where Maria and Dad and I waited for Sofia to come home from a date in the kitchen. And she walked through the door, floated through the door.
This is another example of the symbolism and just the imagery over what's being said when her sister talks about Sofia floating through the door. First of all, how movie-like is that? And now we have Ryan picking Sofia up and twirling her for their entrance into the reception. It really gives a great visualization of Sofia floating through the door with that twirl.
How about the best first dance I've ever seen?
This where you're standing, well, basically, people sitting to that left, about 3 weeks ago, that was a driveway.
So here we have that shot of Sofia waving at Ginevra through the window, and that just turned out to be one of my favorite shots because it was one of those moments that, we didn't anticipate happening. We were following her into the reception, and she decided to take a quick moment to tap on the window and say hey to Ginevra, and I just thought that was the sweetest thing ever.
And we brought in to create what's known now on national maps as Sofia's Field of Dreams.
Sophia's Field of Dreams. We're seeing and hearing dreams come back into play.
Ryan, you're the man of my dreams.
Ryan's the man of her dreams.
And we always say, I love you more than I did yesterday, but not as much as I will tomorrow. And it's so true because I love you the most I've ever loved you, but tomorrow I know I'll love you more.
Into our wildest dreams, into our wildest dreams, our wildest dreams. Do you believe that there's something to see? Follow me into our wildest dreams.
And we end the wedding film with a song literally called Wildest Dreams. So that sort of ties it all in together, and it's more of an upbeat, edgy song because we just really wanted to end it with some drama because it was just an incredible wedding day. It deserved to be told with a little bit of drama and a little bit of flair.
So we hope you enjoyed our first wedding film breakdown, and if there is one that you would like to see done next, you can comment below because we would love to know what you've kind of connected with and what films you've connected with. And we hope you enjoyed that and understand a little bit more about our process and how we think about going through wedding films.